up, everybody? Trenton here with SoundlinkTV at the Radio Room in Greenville, South Carolina with Kyle from the world-renowned Bodysnatcher. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm just hanging.
just hanging?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys are in a good mood after the crazy 2 years we've had. And so what's it been like for like a smaller band like you guys who's about to go on a pretty big tour? You know, this is just kind of like a small stop along the way of that, but getting to that point, you know, from where we were 2 years ago, what's the journey been like for your band in the last couple of years?
It's been awesome, man. Like, it sucks that we couldn't tour for so long, and like, basically we were touring so heavily that once COVID happened and everything, we just kind of like hit a hard stop. But then we decided to keep putting out music and put out more and more songs, and I think it made us grow pretty considerably. Like, we grew a good, like, probably I'd say like double our size than we were before COVID happened. So there's that, and then we just put out our new album, I want to say like 2-3 days ago. So that's been doing really awesome for us as well. So I'm pretty stoked to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because like a lot of, you know, the industry kind of shut down, and unfortunately a lot of people lost their jobs during that time, you know, especially, you know, bands not able to tour. But a lot of bands, you know, like the smaller ones, they saw growth on Spotify and all that just because I guess they couldn't go to shows. So they, you know, that happened. So, you know, what's that experience been like, you know, seeing that growth when you know, I'm not sure before this tour when the last time you guys played a show was, but like, you know, during that time, not even stepping foot on a stage, having a tour to promote your music, you know, was it like just sitting at home, seeing that growth, just kind of like, hey, we're not even doing anything?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, man. Like, we did our headliner for our past album, This Heavy Void, and those shows were really awesome. And then we immediately, like a week later, lockdown happened and everything. So it was kind of depressing because we couldn't like tour off of it. But then when we started releasing the singles and everything, like it was crazy because like it was like an upward arc. Like we just started to grow, and it was really cool to see that, you know, hard work pays off and everything.
Yeah. So obviously you guys are working on music during that time, but was this record like a COVID baby record? You know, does it reflect where you were mentally in that time, or were you just kind of like writing, you know, just whatever came to be, whether it was related to that or not? Or did that mental space a lot of people got into when during that time not being able to play music or anything, did that affect the writing any?
So we're pretty much like always writing for the most part. Like we draw a lot of stuff that's like personal stuff. So we already had kind of an idea what we were going to write about as far as like what the song subjects were going to be taking off from This Heavy Void, because usually we do, you know, obviously like a lot of the personal stuff, so we just decided to dig deeper and go from there and basically write something that was that album on steroids, essentially. But it was not a COVID baby, no.
Not a COVID baby. So I want to talk about your music a little bit, like the actual sound of it, because, you know, during that, I guess that weird time, 2013, 2014, there was like that small niche of a scene that was doing like this really slow, down-tempo, whatever you can call it, type of music. I guess you guys and Traders were like two of the bigger names to come from that.
Yeah.
But both of your bands, you know, sound has evolved. You know, I guess if you want to up the tempo a little bit, you want to call it that. So just talk about the evolution of your band's music and the sound and stuff, and what got you guys, I guess, you know, moving forward in that direction.
Yeah. So basically the first EP when we came out like that and we were a down tempo band, we were really young. It was a completely different lineup. I'm the only original member now, but we were all real young. We were like 17, 18 years old. So that was like what we were listening to at the time. And then Death of Me, obviously, we tried to be a little bit more deathcore, and that was, I think, 2 years after that EP. And then, we had a big lineup change and everything, and a lot of the guys that are involved in the band now were in previous deathcore bands from, you know, the early 2010s and whatnot. So that definitely comes into the sound with that. And also, we just want to play what we think is deathcore, which is obviously a mixture of the two genres, and we just try to incorporate more of the core side than the death side, but, you know, like, keep a good medium with it. And I think, for the most part, like, it's evolved the way that I thought it would. Like, you know, we started off real slow, and now we're obviously not slow. So
you know, it's like even our friends who live around here at Filth, you know, they, you know, kind of upped it up because they were one of those bands too. And so you're about to go out on tour, you know, with Dying Fetus, but when this comes out, you guys will be on tour with that band and some other bands, and that is a a band that, you know, you mentioned you were like, what, in high school when this band started? That band was around since probably before you were in high school. I'm 32. They were probably getting started when I was in high school, you know? And so what's it like, you know, to have an offer like that to go out and open up for, like, I guess one of the biggest bands in like the heavy music scene?
It's crazy, man. It's like that band is like a legendary band, like you said, like them. And then this is our second tour with Chelsea Grin, and I mean that band's been around forever too. So it's crazy. It's also one of those things where it's like it's like a life bucket list sort of thing. So it's like it feels like one of those whenever you get a tour like that. You're like, wow, it's a once in a lifetime thing. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah. So, you know, going on that tour and everything, you know, hanging out with those guys, you know, what kind of I guess shenanigans are you getting into? Any kind of like giving them a hard time or anything, or are you just trying to like vibe out and be bros?
Yeah, basically just vibe out and be bros and have fun, because I love to have fun and these guys love to have fun. So that's the goal, is to have fun and play music. So hopefully no one's a dick.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, as everybody knows, Lorna Shore blew up with their single To the Hellfire and stuff, and I guess in a way sort of brought up some of the heavier deathcore bands with them. Have you guys, for your band or maybe in the genre in general, seen sort of like, I guess, a trickle off from the people, I guess the TikTok people who found that? Or, I mean, that band's playing a lot of Palooza, for crying out. I mean, like, holy crap. You know? and so, you know, with you guys, you know, because it's so weird for a band with, you know, bands being that heavy, have that mainstream, you know, I guess, quote unquote appeal, if you want to even call it that. Yeah. So how have you seen that, and what are you looking for, or what are you planning, or I guess looking forward to with that evolution, and seeing where this I guess otherwise accessible genre goes?
I think heavy music is bigger than it was. Like, yeah, of course, like a lot of the bands that really like shaped the genre aren't around anymore, or, you know, like shows were crazy back in the day, because when I was young they were. And I think that with TikTok and social media, heavy music has grown a ton though, and it's a good thing in my opinion, because a lot of the younger kids are gonna get into it. And when the older generation starts to like phase out of the music, we're going to be able to have the younger kids coming up, obviously. So it's a good thing. And also TikTok makes bands blow up real quick. Yeah. So that's a really cool thing as well. Like we did that single King of the Rats, and the beginning, I believe, became a sound on TikTok, and a lot of TikTok kids like found out about us through that. It was crazy. Like the last headliner we did, there were so many people that were like, not really like necessarily even metal kids, like it was like normie kids, and they were just like, hey, I discovered heavy music from like the TikTok sound or whatever. It's just so weird, man. But yeah, Lorna Shore is awesome, and they deserve all of it, and those are great friends of ours. Yeah, so I'm stoked.
Speaking of something you said there, like, you know, another band that's completely not even heavy at all, I guess, called Rivals, you know, they just started on TikTok, and their front woman Kaylee's, you know, been posting on Facebook saying like that's the most growth they've ever seen in their band doing anything. So that's absolutely crazy. And I guess, you know, growing up before TikTok, we loved breakdowns, you know, like it was all about the breakdown. So I guess it's perfect for TikTok. You know, you get to that 30-second, you know, like really heavy breakdown that people just lose their shit over. So that's a good thing. I guess going forward after this tour, you know, what do you guys have planned for 2022, the rest of the year? And if you can talk about any of that.
I can't really talk about that too much. I know in the summer we are going to do something, and the end of the year. Well, so we were supposed to go out at the beginning of this year with Carnifex and Chelsea Grin in Europe, and that got bumped back to the end of the year. So we're going to be back in Europe towards the end of the year, and everything else I can't really say for certain, just because everything is not really super set in stone. But hopefully we're going to be pretty busy this year.
Are you guys announced for Blue Ridge yet or not? Or have you guys?
They don't want us.
Oh, they don't. I can't remember if I saw you. They've announced so many bands. I can't remember if I saw you guys on the little thing being announced for it or not on Facebook.
They don't want us for whatever reason.
I don't know, man. Hey, Blue Ridge people, if you're watching, book this band, man.
Would love to play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're kicking off with Dying Fetus, ending it with a Carnifex in Europe. As far as we know, what you can talk about.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, for sure.
And enjoying the new album. Go pick it up. Go stream it. You know, let's go follow him on TikTok. I'm Trenton with SoundlinkTV, hanging out with Kyle from Bodysnatcher. Thanks for watching.